as much for me as much for them to get, the support, to buy, even if you're buying locally and it's not the hand-shaped carbon fiber one, it's still the shape that we've come up with, or Adrian's, shaped, or, whoever's working with us is shaped, and we've gone and done that, so, but, we need to get there. We need to have that price point, those boards that, like, for example, if you want to go in and get that one for your wife and that's $500 with a paddle, we can still offer that as well as our, high-end ones.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love the story, man, because, when you shot first, I remember you building the mezzanine, and you were gone 3 days later. Oh, that's what I was getting at, the original story I was saying.
Yeah.
You and your mate were flipping through your phone. That's because you knew there was a swell off Fiji or some crap. Like, I worked it out finally. Like, why is this dude sort of agitated? I was thinking about it for the week later. Like, I couldn't work it out. That's because you're constantly checking what.
It's, and then at that stage of my life, I was like, hustling to try and keep the dream alive. I think back then, Quicksilver had gone through their first little, hiccup in the business world, and I think my contract that I had, which wasn't that much anyway, had got cut in half, and so I'm hustling, doing lessons, trying to make money so I can still, do what I do, and that's, at that stage is just chasing waves, wanting to be in Hawaii, chasing all the swells, and and then in Australia, we're so far away from that, especially through the wintertime, where that's where, when Hawaii, California, Europe, that's where all the waves are, from November through to March, April. So, to fly back to Australia and then 2 days later have to fly back, it's impossible. Number one, you're going to go broke within a month. Number two, your body just can't handle all that flying, and it's too brutal, and that's where I just ended up saying that, hey, I need to be in America. I need to live in the US. That's where I need to be. It's where I want to be, and that's it's where I'm at now.
Do you find it? I find it a bit of a catch though, because what do you think of those places? There's nothing like home, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing like our sand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you feel?
It is. It's interesting. It's I really do love Hawaii. I've got so many good memories and friends and stuff there. And my girlfriend, she's from California. My daughter was just born. We had a home birth on the property in Hawaii. So my daughter was born like on the North Shore, literally on the North Shore. And so there's a connection for her there now too. So look, home's always home, but to be honest, when I come back, I'm like, I'm like, okay, it's time to go again, and it's where I'm at in my life at the moment, and that's not to say that in 10 years time that, I mightn't be settling down back here, but the Gold Coast, man, it's so crazy now, it's, just the crowds and the whole, just everything that's going on with the, bikies, and I mean, just it's a dangerous place now too, it's like, it's just crazy. The Gold Coast is hectic. It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago, so it's it's interesting. It's right now I'm just in the moment, like Hawaii is where I need to be and where I love to be, and it's perfect for my for where I'm at the moment. But you come home and the Gold Coast has just got that perfect water, perfect waves, point breaks, and sunny, and it's just it is. You think. You know what it is? You just go, how lucky am I to have to choose from that? Like, I don't have to go back to Broken Hill or like anything like that. So, you go, God, I'm so spoilt and lucky that, I get to either call California, Hawaii, or Australia home, so it's pretty amazing.
But it get pretty crowded in those breaks too, right? Like, only from what I see on...
It does, it does, but at Gold Coast,
it's not full of Logan tradies.
I get back home and I just like, it's way more gnarly here. Like I don't know. It's just the population and just how many people surf here. And don't get me wrong, I love it. It's just such a surf culture in Australia. Like people trip out when they're like, man, you guys, it's on the news. Like this morning I woke up, first thing I saw was Mick Fanning on the TV on the morning show about Snapper, and last night the WSL awards and stuff. It's like, that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Right. Like it's not on the back page of the paper. It's not on the front page of the paper. Like it just doesn't happen,
wow.
And
not even Hawaii.
No, not really. You get little snippets of it, but you know, to be on the front page of the paper there would never happen, you know, whereas, you know, like all the time, you know, surf, you know, if they win a contest or they've done something, like it'll be on the front page of the bulletin, you know. So, you know, as a nation and as a little community on the Gold Coast, like, you know, the surfing culture is by far probably the most popular in the whole world.
Okay. Wow, that's great to know. It blows me out when, you know, Roxy, Quicksilver Pro's coming and Roxy Pro is coming, next weekend?
I think it's in a few days.
Are you going to be here for that?
No, I'm leaving tonight.
Oh, yeah? And it blows me out. I take my little boy there, you know, we go, yes, you know, big screen. I love that thing, right? Just watching it and getting amongst it, right?
Yeah.
And blows my mind that, okay, competition's over. And within the next half an hour, you'll see everything from 50-year-old tradesmen to an 8-year-old kid getting straight into those competition waves. Like, and it is so filled. Like, so you've obviously still got pros, like practice, you know, just still surfing, practicing, you know, 'cause they're trying to get it into tune with that thing. But then you've got an 8-year-old kid. I would never do that. You know what I mean? I'm always the type of dude that's going, I'm not going to hang around this sort of, it's too much. Like, I'll go to Tugan or somewhere where there's no one there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, getting out. There's just sort of something about Snapper that never feels too crazy. So everyone if you just got a board, let's go to Snapper.
Yeah, well, it is just, I mean, that's the problem is it's so easy to access. You just go jump off the rocks and you're in the lineup, you know, like it's and
how do you access those? I've never been to Hawaii. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of easy too, but you know, you've usually got to paddle out and I don't know, it seems like it's a lot, the pecking order and just the waves are heavier, obviously, you know, but, you know, I mean, honestly, right now, like, it's now still in one of the, you know, we're coming off the back of one of the best ever big wave seasons in Hawaii, like, you know, with the whole El Nino thing. And, you know, like, sunset could be firing tomorrow, like 8 to 10 feet. There might be like 25 guys out, 30 guys. Wow. You know, Snapper will be 4 foot and pumping tomorrow and it'll be like 1,000. Yeah. Like, and that's not just because of Crikey Pro's on, that's just like standard, you know, like, so, you know, and, yeah, I don't know,
social
man.
Media,
it's just,
man.
Social media, just how user friendly the waves are. You know, like you know, Snapper and the points. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, they get heavy. You know, burly, and you know when it's pumping. You know, but in all reality, if you can manage it off the rocks, there you're in the lineup. You know, straight away. So, but yeah, you know, look, you just got to deal with it, right? If you grew up on the Gold Coast, you've just seen it, and you deal with it. You grow up with it, and you just. You know, for me, I find there's more aggro in the water here than there is in Hawaii. Right. So, but not just people just wanting their waves. You know, people want to go out, they want to get their 3 waves before they go to work, and that's like the other 100 people out there too. You know, it's like
when someone drops in on you, do you dwell on it? Like,
nah, mate, I don't because you know, for me, surfing honestly, like. I want to come out being happy. You know, that's what surfing to me is. It's like being in the water makes me get away from being like, you know, why it's like having road rage. Yeah. Except you're taking the road rage into the ocean and you come out like you're feeling with road rage. And it's like, well, what's the point? That's not the point. The point for me, not just surfing, but being in the water is it cleanses you. You feel good. You feel happy. You go to work feeling better. So your bosses or your colleagues are happy. You go home to your wife and family and you're happy. Like instead of going home and being like all frazzled and like taking it out on your family or being in a bad mood, you know. So, you know, for me, I just, you know, just wipe it off and it's, you can't let it get to you. If you let that get to you, you'd never, especially living on the Gold Coast, you'd never be happy surfing.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's still plenty of empty, you know, beach breaks.
Yeah,
beach breaks for miles. You find no one's there every day. It's beautiful.
That's why no one's there because they're all at Snapper and Burley.
Yeah, I would never even bother with that.
Or Green Mount. Yeah, so.
Hey, explain to me your day, and I'll tell you why. I grew up in Logan, right?
Yeah.
And which is just up there near Brizzy.
Yeah.
And it's an hour away from any beach, right? So I grew up there, but my cousin, who's just downstairs, was the surfer, triathlete, Ironman once at Burley, right? So I grew up with him as my older cousin. Like, wow, this gold, you know.
Yeah.
That's where my eyes were just switched on to the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah.
Was I getting that? Oh yeah, right. So in Logan, the first thing you do when you leave school is you just go drinking at the Springwood pub, the local pub. Yeah, and I got into music, and it was like a completely different thing. And it wasn't until I started 26 is when I moved to surfer's paradise. But I started surfing in Bronte beforehand, like living in Sydney. Anyway, someone told me about this, a surfer who only drinks on Friday nights. It was like, I remember going, and I heard that too late. I wish I had It felt like everyone just drank. I came out of the suburb in the crappy part of Brisbane, and everyone, that's all you had to do was just drink and drink and drink.
Yeah.
And then I learned a little too late, perhaps, like, no, you don't drink it all. You only drink Friday night, and then you go back into the surf, so you're fresh. Explain to me when do you go to bed? When do you wake up? What's a normal day?
It depends. I mean, I've pretty much trained my whole life, so as a kid, like I started swimming training and stuff and swam competitively and stuff. So for me, like all I've known is waking up at like 5 a.m., going to the swimming pool or going surfing or whatever. So, for me, I was in bed at 8:30. That was my time, at school to be up early. All those years I was training for Molokai, I'd be exhausted. So I'd be in bed by 8 or 9 o'clock. And even now to this day and age, like, I'm not up as early these days because I'm not really, doing all that swimming and stuff. But I'm very rarely up past 9:30, and especially now with the daughter as well. It's I'm up early and
But your wife wakes up, does she?
Yeah, she wakes up a lot. She wakes up a lot, and so
you're made for it, mate.
Yeah,
they can do that stuff better.
Yeah,
can.
It's rad. But look, my normal day right now is I wake up and I take my girl Nevaeh and just hang with her for the first few hours. Once she wakes up, and I let my girlfriend go and do some of the work that she needs to do, and then it depends on the waves. Then if it's the surf's pumping, I'm up early out in the surf, and then for me, as long as I surf once a day, while I'm back, because I'm away a lot, and so I got to leave, the family at home a lot. So when I am home, I try to be really engaged and spend a lot of time with them. And so I just try and surf once a day, and then the rest of the time is just really focused on them. And and I try and bust out one surf and one training session. That's sort of where I'm at right now, and that gets me through. So. Like a yoga or a mountain bike ride or something like that I can just quickly go and do. Time efficient. So it's really simple life, to be honest, in Hawaii. You just wake up and the surf's 2 minutes away, and everything on the North Shore is like 10 or 15 minutes away. It's really a simple, nice life.
But when I see you, hey, I think it was like something like 2012 or something? I think you moved into Currumbin, that board shop.
Yeah.
J&M Paddleboards, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you've done a lot in that time. I remember at that time, I think you'd won the Molokai to, how do you pronounce it? Oahu 9 times, right? And I watched your DVD too. Yeah. What a great, when you won the 10th.
Yeah.
What a great movie, mate. You don't know this, but I bought 10 of those from your shop.
Oh, yeah, right.
Gave it to all the salesmen at work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that was a great story. What's that called?
Decade of Dominance.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I found myself going, mate, the dude next door is a legend. I felt like everyone needed to know to inspire them. Like,
that's what it was. It was really, that movie was to, obviously, to sort of, show like paddleboarding, like what it's about, and the race itself, just the Molokai, just to sort of show people what a special race it is and how much time and effort goes into trying to win that race, and then, and it was to really try and inspire people, to just, not to have to go and do Molokai or anything, but just to get out and do anything, and that was the biggest feedback I think I got from that DVD was people would watch it and it was at 9 o'clock at night and they're like, I'm going for a run right now, or I'm going to get up and go work out in the morning. People kept saying, it really inspired us to get out and do something, and so that was pretty cool to hear that.
Yeah, it did to me. I'll tell you, without being weird, definitely did. Like if someone in your neighbourhood got this other story where, took my son to Palm Beach Currumbin. He's only 3, or at the time. All the 6 dads in a pool. We're learning, swimming lessons from a little boy. He's 3. Yeah. One son, it goes for like 16 weeks or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I remember going, 16 weeks? Man, I could teach him something. Anyway,
Yeah.
do it for my wife. Yeah. The very next week, Joel Parkinson jumps in. He's one of the 6